basically, Dave.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you thought, oh, I'm so far away, he won't come up here.
I did think that.
And you know what? So did I. You are a record producer. What more do you want?
It was incredible. But it's like, just because you can doesn't mean you always should.
Everybody, shame, 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 shame.
Hello everyone, I'm Gia Nurtas, and as you know, I represent Kazakhstan at the World's Best Talent Show. I decided to ask my friend and colleague, Dave Eringa, who is a wonderful professional and a dear friend to many of us, why did he vote against Dimash and how did he vote for Daneliya?
Hi, my name's Dave Eringa. I've been asked to speak a little bit about my judging on the World's Best. So the first question I've been asked is, why did you vote against Dimash and Daneliya if you did? Well, I didn't vote against Daneliya, and I'll get to why in a minute, because we need to put the question into a little bit of context. So we were asked before the start of the show to judge with our personal opinions and our professional opinions. So let's break those down into two, and we'll start with the personal opinions. I come from a rock background. I'm a record producer. I produce rock records, and I come to a certain extent from a punk background as well. So inevitably, the kind of things I like have a slightly more jagged edge, are slightly more imperfect. So a lot of people have criticised me on social media, saying that they're not interested in my opinion, and that I should just judge based on the amount of talent. Well, I would suggest that that's not actually possible, that this is a very subjective matter, that you can't judge art like you would mark a maths exam. There is no right and there's no wrong. The criticism of art is, by its very nature, subjective. I, for instance, love the paintings of Mark Rothko. A lot of people would think that they were just blobs of colour. I love the comedy of Bill Hicks. A lot of people think that's political ranting. I love, for instance, the music of Nirvana. A lot of people think that's just shouting, but it changed my life. So when it came to Dimash's performance, I felt like it was a little all over the place. I felt that it was a little bit like watching a guitar player who plays 1,000,000 notes in a second, which is very impressive and incredible that that's possible and that he can do that. But when it comes to music, I feel like less is more. And sometimes when B.B. King just played one note, it said so much more sometimes. Sometimes in music, the feeling is in the space between the notes. And if you don't leave that space, the emotion doesn't connect with me personally. So moving to the professional opinion, I work predominantly in the UK market. And I genuinely feel like in this market specifically, this artist would have a hard time. On the stage, it's very impressive. You can see all these incredible voices coming from this one guy. On a record, I feel like that might just sound like 5 different singers and confuse people. Which is why I did vote for Daneliya, because I thought she had an incredible voice, a very commercial voice. I think given a couple more years to develop, given the right material, the right production, I think she could be a huge superstar. So I will say, though, that the passion of Dimash's fans has completely blown me away. And although I've been on the receiving end of some interesting and creative insults, I've loved that. I loved the fact that that these people hold him so dear to their heart, and that's brilliant. It feels very old school, that kind of fandom, and I think it's brilliant. I've also obviously seen a lot of Dimash online since then, and he just seems like a wonderful man. He seems like his heart is very, very pure, and he's a credit to Kazakhstan. So I think he's a brilliant guy. And I totally understand why people might have thought it was a weird choice of mine to say no to him. I hope I've explained a small amount towards why I did such a silly thing. So the second question is, after the end of the auditions, you already have a general understanding of the contestants. To your judgment, what genre has the most chances to win the competition? Well, I personally think it's wide open right now. I think there's a few really great frontrunners. Dimash is obviously one of them. People love him. And Daneliya clearly is absolutely brilliant as well. It's shocking, this incredible voice coming from such a little girl. I think the ventriloquist is hilarious. I loved her. I think she's brilliant. I think there's more to come from her. The escapologist, incredible as well. Some of the group variety acts, the guys that chop the wood, that's amazing. The group musical acts, the rock band are very impressive too. So I think the competition's wide open. So let's see what happens next. So thanks for the opportunity to explain myself. Hope that goes some way towards it. Goodbye from the UK.
Ол қазақта халықтанылық айтады, сын түзелмейді, түзелмейді. Күллі әлемдегі көрермен қауымның түс алып отырған дауын еске алатын болсам, осы аптада кіші түсірді.
So let's keep our fingers crossed for Dimash and Daneliya in the battle rounds. With love, always, Gia Nortas.